We are live in Carroll County this morning. That is the courthouse in the background. As we now know, a jury has convicted Richard Allen in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German.
There have been several ups and downs in this case and certainly delays and changes. Coming up in just 3 minutes, we'll hear from Sia New Yorker, who is in Delphi this morning with a breakdown of that conviction and what comes next.
We have a lot to catch you up on this Tuesday morning. Glad that you're here with us on 13 Sunrise. 6 o'clock. Chuck, we do have a very chilly start to our morning now, right?
We really do. In fact, we have been used to such warm days. In fact, if you go back 9 days, they've all been above average. We've had one day with a high in the 50s, and today a high only in the low 50s. It's 38 here, 41 in Chicago right now. But as we drill down, notice how much cooler Indiana is than most of the Midwest. In fact, you folks in Bloomington right now at 35, 38 in both Lafayette and in Richmond, 39 in Shelbyville. And look at the country, how dry it is. This is weird, folks, for a November day, but it's a pattern that we've been rather used to. I am watching this. This is a cluster of rain that's turning into snow. The mountain areas of portions of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming are going to see heavy snow today. That is drifting toward us. We're not going to get snow, but what we will get is a very cool east-northeasterly breeze. So we're in the 30s right now, 44 by 10 a.m. And as the kids head home from school today, probably a jacket required. It'll be pleasant, but a high of 52. And to put this in perspective, this is the time of year when the average high is 53 degrees. So we'll have more on the road to the weekend in a little bit. But speaking of roads, we had some issues yesterday. Lindsay,
yes.
How are we now?
Yeah, and I think there's going to be an issue here again just because of the new traffic flow pattern. So that's where I want to start here up on the northeast side. I put this arrow here where we have a new ramp. This is going to be coming off of I-69 southbound. These are the ramps that'll take you onto 465 southbound here, westbound here. But there will be this new ramp, and it used to be a couple of lanes. Now it's condensed down to just one travel lane. So that's what's going to take you all the way down to Benford Boulevard off of 69 southbound. Because of that single lane now, we do see bigger delays develop with the peak morning rush hour. So we'll continue to watch that and let you know if we see any slowdowns develop.
Well, right now, Richard Allen is awaiting his sentence after a jury found him guilty in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German.
This is a case that has seen so many twists and turns and different motions and filings. Now Allen has been found guilty on 4 counts, including felony murder of both girls. This jury deliberated for about 20 hours over these last several days.
Once the jury reached a verdict, it took them about 2 minutes to read each one in court. Our Sia New Yorker is in Delphi this morning, and Sia, walk us through really that frantic 2-minute stretch before that verdict was announced.
Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Jalea. No cameras were allowed inside the courtroom, but we had a team of journalists inside of the Carroll County Courthouse when that verdict was read. Now, Richard Allen was convicted and proven guilty on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder. This after 17 days of testimony, 64 witnesses, and more than 400 pieces of evidence were presented during the trial. Our Bob Siegel said the prosecution embraced as the verdict was read and said Allen's lawyers were comforting him before he was put in handcuffs and led away. When talk came up about his sentencing, Allen looked at his wife Kathy and asked, "Are you okay?" Outside the courtroom, Emily Longnecker said many in the crowd cheered as word of the verdict spread. Becky Patty, Libby German's grandmother, hugged family members and cried as they left the courthouse. And Libby's sister, Kelsey, posted on social media writing, quote, "Nearly 8 years, today was the day." Richard Allen will be sentenced on December 20th. Until that time, there is a gag order in place, so no one involved with this case can comment until after that time. Now, many in this community have praised the girls for that video that investigators lifted off of Libby's cell phone that showed the bridge guy. They say it was instrumental in helping to solve this crime. Now, coming up on Sunrise at 6:30, hear from others here in this community. Ladies.
Thank you, Sia.
Well, just after the verdict came down, the Delphi community was quick to give their thoughts about the trial, but especially the conclusion.
Yeah, if you saw in the beginning of our show that live shot, those blue and purple ribbons around the city, they've been representing Abby and Libby's favorite colors. They've also helped build a park honoring the girls in their hometown. And some neighbors say that they can finally enter a new chapter now.
He's not the victim, they were the victims. And we were victims also with it. We want to be released just as well as Abby and Libby. They're free now. They are free. And again, today is their day, and we've been saying it for years. Endless nights of sleep, we can now say that this is justice.
So while the community is weighing in, the families and investigators are not. As we talked about there with Sia, the gag order remains in place and will remain in effect until Allen is sentenced in December.
As we talked about, there have been so many changes made to the Monon High Bridge Trail over the course of this case as well.
That infamous down the hill video captured on Libby German's cell phone gives you an idea of what it looked like back then. Well, now security is a top priority in that area. There's new lighting around, even security cameras. This is all thanks to $1 million the city received from the state's Next Level Trails program.
Plus, Delphi police have added a new position. The department now has a Parks and Trails liaison officer who oversees this trail system across the city. And there are also improvements to the bridge itself.
In 2022, crews installed new prefabricated decking and custom steel rails. You can also find a new trailhead parking area and information kiosks in that area.
If you want to learn more about the trial and the investigation itself ahead of sentencing, you can watch our Delphi debrief. This airs on WTHR Plus. You can stream this show on demand. WTHR Plus is our free streaming app. You can get this on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, or if you have a Roku.
Well, 6:07, and now to a truly bizarre story here in Indianapolis, where IMPD is investigating a death investigation at Planet Fitness on the south side.
Yeah, a man's body was found inside of that workout center just days after family members say that he was reported missing. Matthew Foltz is live outside of that Planet Fitness. And Matthew, we have more on how this could have happened. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. That's the biggest question this morning, Julia. Family members tell us that 39-year-old Derek Sink actually went into this Planet Fitness on Friday, went into the tanning bed here, but wasn't found until Monday morning, and that's when he was found dead. Family members say he struggled with drugs, and a needle was actually found in the tanning room with him. Sink's aunt tells 13 News she reported him missing on Friday and that he was wearing an ankle monitor, which helped police determine that he never left the gym. Now, during the 3 days Sink was considered missing, the gym remained open. We actually spoke with one woman who works out here. She says she noticed a smell in the building that got worse near those tanning rooms.
And the tanning bed has a door, I believe, but still, like, why are we not concerned that the door has been closed for 3 days in a row, potentially?
And I just reached back out to IMPD this morning for any updates in their investigation. I'm still waiting to hear back. However, the last statement that they sent 13 News was simply that they're investigating a death here. Planet Fitness also says they're working with the franchise owner of this location to try to figure out what happened. I also emailed them just now as well, so we're still waiting for an email back. Meanwhile, Julie and Jalea, we have seen many people come in and out of this Planet Fitness, which is still open this morning. However, it is some unfortunate news that is now gaining a lot of conversation online. We'll break down what people are saying and more on the man Sink was coming up at 6:30.
All right, thanks so much, Matthew. And this morning, we're working to learn more about a deadly crash in Hendricks County that killed a teenager. This happened around 8:30 yesterday morning on County Road 900 North in Pittsboro. A neighbor near the crash scene told our crew the driver came off the road and hit a parked truck and then flew into their front yard. The Northwest Hendricks School District confirmed the driver was a high school student at Tri-West High School. The district released a statement saying when a tragedy occurs, it affects not only that school, but the entire school district, family, and we grieve with the students, staff, and families affected by this loss.
Well, in just a few hours, Lucas Oil is cutting the ribbon on their new global headquarters. It's at the Keystone at the Crossing. And 13 News got an exclusive preview yesterday at this new facility. The company is moving its headquarters from California right here to Indiana. This makes engine oils and additives and was little known in Indianapolis 18 years ago when it put its name on the football stadium. Well, the second generation of the Lucas family, Morgan and his wife Katie, are now focused on making its mark on Indianapolis again.
We purchased this building and originally thought we'd do some minimal renovations, new paint, maybe take down a wall or two. We ended up tearing down every single wall, and it is a complete rebuild.
Well, this move to Indy aims to streamline the operations with the manufacturing plants in Corydon, Indiana. The new headquarters has office spaces for about 80 employees, a museum, and a cable TV network in the building.
Very cool. Glad they're here. Well, this morning we are headed back on the road with Chuck on his big adventure in Pennsylvania. At 6:45, Chuck takes us to a unique destination that you wouldn't necessarily expect to find in the Keystone State.
Plus, this morning, we're just nearly a week after the election, and we're getting some new insight into President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet. We'll walk you through who he's naming to some key positions.